Jeopardy! Contestant Wallace has left Ken Jennings stunned after he made a slew of dangerous wagers that ultimately led to a landslide win. The video game designer from Austin, Texas has already pocketed $55,598 from his 3-day total and pulled out all the stops to add another victory to his resume. On Friday's game, Will went up against Olaf Talbert, a retired U.S. Navy officer and research assistant from Pensacola, Florida, and Carol Lowe, a photographer from Conway, North Carolina. Right from the jump, Will gained a lead by adding $1,000 to his score when he correctly guessed the first daily double. By the first break, Will had already secured $4,400 while Carol was in second with $600 and Olaf in third with $400. Heading into the double Jeopardy round, Will increased his lead to $6,000, but Olaf was catching up to him after some correct responses earned him $4,000. Carol found the second daily double under the quick category but got it wrong and dropped $1,000. With just a slight lead over Olaf, Will had to be strategic with his next moves to secure his win heading into the final round. He did just that, completely dominating the entire Rocktober category that consisted of various clues about rock music. It was under this category he found the third daily double and used it to his advantage, betting a risky $3,000 that made host Ken, 50, raise his eyebrows. Will was successfully able to answer the clue and increased his total to $7,600. Ken appeared visibly impressed with the contestant sweeping the whole category, which led to a massive lead going into Final Jeopardy! U.S. history was the last category, and after placing their wagers, Ken read off the clue. The largest land deal in U.S. history was formalized in a building at this spot, now named for a military hero and president, the contestant turned host read. Both Will and Olaf correctly wrote down what is Jackson Square. Will ended the game with an impressive $24,400 while Olaf was in a distant second with $2,400. Carol remained in third with $1,600. Ken wasn't the only person impressed with Will's risky wagers and impressive gameplay. That could have been a dangerous bet for Will on that third DD, glad it worked out for him, could have been a game changer, one viewer wrote. Another admirer said, super stoked to see Will power through the taping day and make it to 4 wins. It's also cool to see him get a category sweep after 2 opponents from previous games had gotten sweeps of their own, Sophia on Wednesday and Kiki on Thursday. While a third said, Will is crushing it, can easily see him becoming a 10-day champ. Fans of the game show were shocked to learn Will has worked on a number of famous projects, most notably several in the Star Wars franchise. Will currently works as the design director for PeopleFun, a company that creates mobile games. According to the Austin, Texas native's LinkedIn profile, his current role includes product owner/design director for Wordscapes, Solitaire, a new word/puzzle game in the Wordscapes franchise. Previously, Will worked on a number of famous video games from a galaxy far, far away. Out of this world. Star Wars, Hunters, 2024, Astrobreaker, Dungeon Boss, 2015, Star Wars, The Old Republic, Rise of the Hutt Cartel, 2013, Star Wars, The Old Republic, 2011, Star Wars, Galaxy's Trials of Obi-Wan, 2005, and Star Wars, Galaxies, 2003, were among some of the projects he worked on. He began his career as a game designer for Sony Online Entertainment back in 2001. On his bio, he boasts he's a game designer and creative leader with over 20 years of experience on MMOs, F2P, action RPGs. As the episode began, the familiar Jeopardy! Theme filled the studio, and the audience buzzed with excitement. Will stood at his podium, glancing over at Ken, who had once been a formidable force in the trivia world. Ken, having returned to the show as a guest host, wore a composed smile, but beneath that calm demeanor lay a competitive spirit that had earned him millions. The 2 contestants had been neck and neck in the previous rounds, and this game promised to be a battle of wits and strategy. In the first round, Will displayed his vast knowledge across categories like world history, science, and pop culture. He quickly built a substantial lead, but what truly made his game captivating was his bold wagering. It was his strategy to wager aggressively, sometimes risking large sums of his hard-earned winnings. "Will, you're really taking some chances here," Ken remarked after Will decided to wager $4,000 on a question about ancient civilizations. "Life's too short to play it safe," Will replied with a grin, his eyes twinkling with mischief. The question came up. This civilization is known for its advanced mathematics and calendar, as well as its pyramids. "Who are the Maya?" Will buzzed in confidently, earning a resounding cheer from the audience as the correct response lit up the board. Ken's expression remained steady, but inside, he was evaluating Will's strategy. It was risky. One wrong move could unravel Will's lead, and Jennings was not a contestant to underestimate. As they transitioned into the double Jeopardy round, tensions rose. The categories flashed on the screen: Shakespearean quotes, famous inventors, mythical creatures, U.S. geography, and world religions. Will's focus sharpened. He expertly navigated through the questions, racking up points, and when the opportunity arose to wager more, he did not hesitate. Will faced a particularly tough question under mythical creatures. The answer was revealed, and the room filled with a palpable sense of anticipation. The question was, this creature is often depicted as having the body of a lion and the head of a human. "What is a sphinx?" he answered, smiling as he revealed his wager of $5,000. "That's correct," Ken announced, his eyebrows raising in surprise. The crowd erupted into applause, and Will's total now soared well above Ken's. "I can't believe you just wagered that much on that," Ken said, genuine admiration lacing his voice. "That's a risky move." "It's about confidence," Will countered. "And understanding the game." As the game progressed, Will's betting became increasingly audacious. Ken found himself in the precarious position of needing to play catch-up. In a pivotal moment, Ken managed to narrow the gap slightly, answering a question about U.S. geography with precision. Will's lead, however, remained formidable. As they approached Final Jeopardy, Will had amassed a total of $21,000 while Ken trailed behind with $15,000. The stakes were higher than ever. The final category was announced: historical figures. "I have a feeling about this one," Will said, a mischievous glint in his eye. Ken nodded, preparing his answer with his characteristic seriousness. When the final clue was revealed, both contestants scribbled down their responses, with Will once again making an eyebrow-raising wager of $10,000. The question came: this 16th-century monarch is often remembered for his 6 marriages and the English Reformation. Will didn't hesitate, answering, "Who is Henry VIII?" as he confidently clicked his buzzer. The studio fell silent as they awaited the reveal of their answers.